Content creation is evolving so fast. If you're not using AI, you're already behind, bro. AI isn't replacing creators, it's making them 10 times more powerful. Look, writing manually takes so much time, bro. I've got a kid, I just don't have time to go ahead and sit here and create content all the time. People have jobs, they've got school, they've got all types of stuff going on, a girlfriend nagging at them, I don't know, right? But it takes a lot of time to go ahead and sit in front of the TV and just create content while the TV's on at the same time, right? You just need something to do it for you. Look, no cap, a 5-minute video used to take me 3 hours to generate because I had to shoot it just like this, then I would have to throw it in the editing software, then I would have to get it edited up, I would have to pick the thumbnail, the title, all this stuff, get the script, right? And the script took me forever, but now you can do that in 10 minutes using AI. But let's just cover the writing aspect in this video. And the thing is, modern AI is generic, so you gotta train this thing. So that's what I really wanted to make this video about, just showing you how to train AI to talk like you, sound like you, act like you, and maybe walk around like you in the future. AI can help you scale without losing your authenticity. It doesn't have to remove your original thoughts, it can actually enhance them. It'll help you if you're a writer, marketer, thought leader, or just someone trying to share their message. I know you've probably used ChatGPT before to generate video ideas, but it just didn't sound like you, right? It sounded maybe like a robot or somebody else wrote it. But when you train a model on you, it can generate you 10 plus videos in a few seconds sounding exactly like you and sounding exactly like something you've created because it's trained on all of your information. You see, the biggest problem with content creators that I see in my community is just staying consistent. So this method eliminates the writer's block, and then it can help you repurpose reels and tweets in a matter of seconds. And AI generated content is already everywhere. 90% of creators are already using AI to write blogs, tweets, and everything that you see online pretty much. Like the majority of Forbes and the Washington Post, like these big articles that everybody knows about, are probably generated by AI, I promise you. Some of them have contacted me. So let's dive into the world of the AI content engine. So how do we humanize this process? And I think the best way is to train AI on your business. And I'm gonna show you exactly how it works here. So this is my motto. I basically write out collect, train, communicate, then automate, right? But when it comes to collecting, we need to collect everything about you and we need to train AI on it. So let me break it down even further. So first we've got, let's just say robot here. So let me just create a little robot, you know, face or whatever. Just imagine a robot. I don't really know what a robot looks like, right? But we've got this robot bot here, and this thing doesn't know anything. It's clueless. So young homie's clueless at the moment. So what we need to do is we need to train this guy on some type of information so he knows what's going on. So the first thing is, just like a human, he's got two sides of his brain. So let's just say we've got this side of the brain, the left side, and let's say this is the ChatGPT or whatever language model. So we can connect it to something that knows everything about the world. So let's just say in this case, we're gonna use ChatGPT. Okay, so now we need to give it information about us. So the next thing we need to do, even before we give this robot information about us, we need to have information about us. So what I like to do is I like to go over to AI. You can use ChatGPT, use anything, and ask ChatGPT to question you and ask you 100 questions about your business, okay? So once AI questions you about your business, it'll have a little bit of clarity and it knows something about you. You can move this to something like a Google Doc, you know. So once it's in this document form, there it goes. This thing right here knows everything about your business. So let's just call this, for me, for my example, we're gonna call this Akil's brain, okay? So Akil's brain is in a Google Doc or multiple Google Docs from here. So we want to give it as much information as possible. So it's gonna be 100 questions about me. This can also be goals that I want to achieve, right? This can also be reels that I've created before, okay? So I can go ahead and get all my reels and I can transcribe it and put it in a Google Doc form. So now we've got a bunch of docs on me, okay? So this is called the knowledge, okay? So this is the knowledge. So with this knowledge, we want to go ahead and give that to our robot. So now, let's go ahead and write knowledge. Sorry for the sloppy handwriting. I'm getting used to this iPad writing. But with this knowledge plus ChatGPT, this robot is now smart. He's not clueless anymore. And we can go ahead and chat to this knowledge somewhere. Like let's just say, what's up? WhatsApp, or we can say Slack, wherever you like to communicate. So this is the new wave right here. So basically, we've trained ChatGPT on our business, and it also has the capability of using the internet, so it knows everything about your business, also what experts are doing. So there's tons of tools like this. The one that I like to use is called Chatbase. And I'm gonna show you what this thing looks like in action, okay? So with Chatbase, it looks something like this. This is the Wolf of AI. This is Akil version 2 or whatever. So I've trained this thing with all of my knowledge. So let's just go ahead and say, man, how are you today? Let's see, I'm feeling pretty good, blah, 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 right? Sounds like me. I can say, can you provide me with 2 different quotes that I can post on LinkedIn? There we go. Perfect. And why this is better than just using ChatGPT is you can feed this a ton of information and you can deploy this anywhere. So right now I'm using this on Chatbase, but I can go ahead and use this in my Slack. I can go ahead and use this in my Instagram. So let me go back to what we were talking about first. So the first thing is collect the information. So that's what we did here. We went ahead and we collected all the information in here. So we can go ahead and say collect. This is so sloppy too, sorry guys, but you'll get the picture. We collect here. Then next we train. So we go ahead to Chatbase and we train the AI on our information. Then after that, we use it to communicate. So we can use this right here, Slack, to communicate. Communicate. There we go. And then from the communication, we want to automate. Now this is the fun part. So the cool thing about having a bot trained on all of your information and why this is a little different than just using ChatGPT is because, like I mentioned, you can go ahead and hook this up to something like Instagram, right? You can hook this up to Instagram. You can go ahead and hook this up to YouTube and have it literally respond back to comments. So say people are commenting to you, they're like, yo, I want to try your product out, X, Y, and Z, I want to know more. Or they just say like, hey man, your stuff's so dope, and you just want to reply back to people, right? This bot can do it for you, which is insane. So that's one side of automation. Another thing we can do is use a tool like Metricool. Giving away the sauce here, guys. So Metricool can go ahead and schedule this thing out for you. So it can schedule it across all social media platforms. So now you don't have to go ahead and manually be on Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and Blue Sky and all of these platforms. You can go ahead and just use Metricool to do it for you. So the first thing we want to do is generate the ideas here using Chatbase, just like there, and then we can schedule it out using a tool like Metricool. So this right here is the future of content creation, because now you don't have to do this. This removes you from the entire thing. So let's just say you hire a VA on a site like Fiverr. Let's go over to Fiverr. Let's find a guy in, let's just say, South Africa, where I live, that can speak good English. He is very competent. He understands content creation. Dude is really witty and smart, right? You can have this guy go ahead and schedule everything out on your Metricool, and he can generate all of the content from the Chatbase. See where I'm going here? And now you've removed yourself from creating content, and you can have this guy schedule everything out for maybe the next 2 years. So when you look at people like Alex Hormozy or a lot of these guys on social media who's producing tons of content, they basically just have a dialed in system with them and their team, and they're doing stuff like this. They're scheduling everything out. They basically create their content using AI. They got their own separate AI engine, and literally, the thing is, no matter who you are, if you don't like to create content, you can create content in this way, especially if it is written form, because right there, you can have it generate your thoughts on a consistent basis. The only thing you really need to do is focus on the knowledge. Like, how do you train this thing with as much information on you as possible? And it's a few ways of doing that. You just gather everything that you've ever said. For me, I've even went so far and talked about my entire life of these being 30 years on this earth, right? I went ahead and talked to AI for an hour, and then after I talked to it for an hour about every single thing, I'm talking about from 1 all the way to 30 years old, and then I literally talked about every single thing I remember every single year. My siblings, my dad, my cousins, my my high school, what it was like, what I've been good at all of a sudden, the time that I had bad times when I was in high school, like literally everything, so it knows me so well. So then when it goes ahead and it talks, it sounds exactly like me and it creates the content exactly like me. And then you can go ahead and have somebody create this on a consistent basis in your voice. So I just truly believe that this is the future of content creation because it's very simple and it just doesn't make sense for us to go ahead and just come up with all these ideas every single day. Yes, it gives you a good starting point, okay? That's what I like to use this for too. I don't like to just like create the entire video for me, even though you can do that. And we can go back to the automation part, right? So the thing about automation is after it's trained on your knowledge, right? So let's just say knowledge trained, right? Let's say knowledge trained. So after it's trained on your knowledge, the next thing you can do too is you can clone your voice. So use a tool like 11 Labs to clone your voice. So from there, you plug it into another tool called HeyGen to clone your video. HeyGen. So we've got the audio piece here, and then we've got the video piece there. And now we've got the content here. So this thing can literally create videos from you in your voice that sounds exactly like you that you can post on social media like Metricool without you having to be there. So this is the full automation system right here, going from knowledge to audio to video to Metricool. So this is if you're someone that doesn't like to push out videos. Maybe you have a company, maybe you have some ideas and you just don't want to be in front of the camera all the time. This is the perfect way to do it. You can just replace yourself by replicating and cloning yourself and then posting and scheduling everything out for you. Make sure to join the Circle community if you want step-by-step guidance on this entire process, and I've got you guys covered. And also in the next video, I'm going to take this a step further. So make sure to like and subscribe so you can see that video, and I'll see you in the next one.